Welcome everyone, welcome to another preview. This is MetalCanyon and we'll be checking out a game called 112 Operator by Jutsu Games. This is the same developer that created the 911 Operator, which we've let's played a while ago. And this is pretty much the sequel to that game. So it's gonna be, you know, more expensive, bigger, more complex, etc, etc, etc. And right now it's only in the alpha version, so just remember that everything you see can and probably will change, hopefully for the better, and nothing you see is actually finished. This game is actually on Kickstarter right now. I'll put the link down below in the description if you want to support them. And right now only the campaign is available, and it's not possible to actually save the campaign as far as I'm aware. I've played it a few times and it never allowed me to load the game. So right at the start we have a few cities available. Unlike the previous game, at least, you know, this is not the full game obviously, but in the previous game you could select from a really wide variety of cities because it was taking maps from openmaps.org, I believe, which allowed it to do plenty of stuff. But now there's actually sort of 3D modeling in the game, so I'm not sure if, you know, playing in your preferred city somewhere is still going to be available or not, or if they'll have to actually 3D model every city that will be available. So anyway, let's try London for now. So right from the start, this is a little bit different from what we're used to in 911 Operator. In 911 Operator, you selected your city and you played in it. So you would play it in, you know, this part here. But here in 112 Operator, you now get districts. And as you play the campaign, that district gets bigger and bigger. I mean, you get more and more districts to play in. So right now we just start in the Royal Borough of Kensington. And if I were to play more and finish this level, I would get maybe 2 more districts over here. The Hammersmith and Fulham and Westminster. And so on and so forth. And of course, it might not look a lot, but even this one district is pretty darn big. And I would say it's comparable, roughly in size, to the whole map in 911 Operator. So I'm not sure how you would be playing in all of this. Maybe you don't actually get to play all of it. We'll see. Anyway. So the loading screens are also new now. It still gives you various first aid instructions, but you now get some really darn nice 3D animations. I mean, they look fairly realistic. The movements are very nice and so on. So I'm actually quite surprised by that. I was not expecting this kind of stuff to be just on the loading screens. And of course, this is not just interesting info which applies to real life, because these are all actual instructions for actual emergencies. They will also help you with calls in the game, because if someone faints, this is what you're supposed to tell them to do. And of course you can scroll through the various tips and so on, or you can just start the game. Emergency Response Center, London. You get this nice little animation. So let me just pause the game for a little bit. Actually, you know what? That's a little bit loud. Sounds dialogues. I think that's gonna be sounds. Mute operator. Why would you want to do that? No. Wait a second. Why am I playing at 9? Oh. I didn't realize that. It doesn't feel like 1920 1080. It should be quad HD, but apparently it's not. Anyway. So, a few differences and a few similarities, obviously. Like before, actually, yeah, I think this would be the map in the original. I don't know. Just like in 911 Operator, you have your map and you have your units that you move around. You've also got all these sub-menus you can open and close if you wish. Usually, most of the time, I just have them closed. Although it is nice to have incidents open because you instantly see what's going on and where. So it's a diabetic shock. A person went into diabetic shock. I'm going to send an ambulance over there. Actually, I'm going to send this one. And like I said, this is a little bit different now. You can still zoom in and out a bit like in 911 operator, but now you can also zoom in very closely. And look at that. It'll load all the buildings and such. It doesn't seem like it's loading them from... it might be loading them from disk. Anyway, it's not a bottleneck. Maybe it's actually downloading data from openmaps.org? Nah, that would have it here. Anyway, yeah, you can see all the buildings and such, which is a very nice touch. But let me play the game. But on the other hand, I don't really see a lot of point to it, at least right now in the game, because if you're zoomed in all the way, this is the view you get. You know, so okay, we've got a stalker incident. Let's go to it. So I have it here, so I need to send a police car. Where is one? See, it's not very useful from a strategic point of view. So I'm going to send this police car over to the woman who reported that she felt observed and received a lot of disturbing messages from an unknown person. So yeah, I really don't see this much more as a gimmick right now, but I believe they have some more plans with that. Also, this is new. I believe they have some more plans with this now.
2247 West
What is this? Car collision. Okay, we'll send this police car over there once they're done with that. There we go, they're taking stuff there. Writing stuff down. Family abuse. A person reported a loud argument and possibly violence at their neighbor's place. Okay. So let's send this police car and the ambulance. Usually I would wait for the police to arrive there first and then send the ambulance. But yeah, this is definitely new now. You can click on these incidents and it'll show you your emergency vehicles coming in, healing people up, taking them away, the police actually shooting at armed people and so on. Okay, we've got a fire. Oh, it's just a technical job, a cat in a tree. But you might have noticed that all the fire units now have a blue bar above them. Now, I only have 2 firefighting units over here. Well, that's a speeder. A mad driver. Oh, multiple traffic violations. So we need to actually arrest this guy, which is going to be a little bit of a problem. I'm gonna... Okay, you can stay there, actually. These guys, because they're full now, they have 2 people in custody, have to go back to a police station. Let me see. Oops. They have to go back to a police station to offload the people in custody. There we go. Boop. And now I can send them back to the incident where they'll have to catch the driver. And we have another red light offense. Let's stop this one. Come on, quickly. And then we'll get the other one who's going right past us. There we go. Get back. There we go. That was quick. So you can juggle these things. So they're actually going to arrest this guy, take him into custody, into the car, and then drive him back. A stalker. Another stalker. Yeah, anyway, let me get back to this. The firefighters now have a blue bar above them. If I had a technical... Man, that's loud. Is that going to be dialogue then? I hope not, because I want to have the dialogue quite high up. Because it's very interesting. Okay. Yeah, the firefighters, apart from the technical truck, which will have a very small tank, they have limited amount of water now. Which I think is pretty fantastic addition. So you cannot just have this guy go to a fire and then another one and then another one. You'll have to bring him back to a station every now and then to refill their water. Now, I don't know if that's fully... Ooh, we're getting a call. I don't know if that's fully realistic or not. I think they would just use hydrants. I don't know.
112, what's your emergency?
Hey, I need an ambulance.
What's your address? What happened?
I was trying to get my cat down from a tree in my backyard, and I fell on my back. It hurts so bad. I haven't got up yet.
Why did you climb the tree?
I didn't want to call 112 for a cat in a tree.
Are you able to get up?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, and don't try to get up.
Don't move, sir. Just stay where you are. I've got an ambulance on the way.
Okay, please hurry.
They'll come as soon as possible.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye.
Okay, we'll save this. The new thing now is that you can also change the report. You can select which services you're going to need there, so you can save it for yourself. So we know that we'll need an ambulance here. Someone tried to rescue the cat, and we can say cannot move in pain. There you go. So if we have a lot of incidents going on, which I'm assuming we will have when we get more and more of the map uncovered, this will come in quite handy, I would say. So right now I'm at this drug overdose. I'm not sending any of my other units there because this one will be much faster. We'll pick this guy up and then we'll go pick this guy up as well. And I'm going to send this guy to the drunk driver, who's thankfully going more slow. Well, not really. So the firefighter I sent over there, I don't know if they'll be able to help him. I'm going to send the ambulance there now. Let's see. I think they might be able to help him. First aid, yeah, much slower, of course, than an actual ambulance, but they won't be able to take him away. We got another drunk driver, which means that they'll be waiting for the ambulance. But, you know, this still helps that they help him, because some of the people, if they're heavily injured, they can die before your ambulances and such get over there. I'm gonna send this guy to accidental amputation. Ouch, ouch. So, the guy you heard with the 112 operator, apparently that's Ian. I actually read about that on the Kickstarter. Oh yeah, the firefighter has to stay there. Come on. Come on. God, slow. Yeah, you can. There we go. Come on. Now they're there. So now they took him away, and over here we have a cat in a tree. So somebody did call for a cat in a tree now. Where are all the... Wow, there's only one hospital over here in this district. That's not very nice. Case resolved. Yeah, that, the guy that you heard, which was also present in 911 operator, is apparently called Ian, and he was an actual dispatcher, a 911 dispatcher in Canada. So, you know, he's got a pretty good idea of how you have to behave and so on and so forth. And like I already said in 911 operator a few years ago, I really, really like his voice and acting, if you can call it. Well, of course he's acting here. Broken water pipe, large technical job. He sounds very, very cool and appropriate, which I suppose is you know, logical, because he was an actual 911 operator in Canada. So that's pretty cool. So there we go. They're repairing some broken pipes here. Wow, that guy did his job much faster than all of the rest of them combined. Another technical job over there. So the new stuff that happens now, like I said, you have to refill water. You've got a plethora of different cars available and vehicles. Oh, I actually do have it paused, but I'm going to get this call.
112, what's your emergency?
Hello? I would like to report something.
Oh, geez. Okay. Just so you know, this is a suicide one, so if you're... Okay.
Where are you, sir?
At the warehouses near...
So don't listen to this one if you're too squeamish.
What would you like to report, sir?
There is someone. A body.
Can you tell if this person is alive?
He's not injured. He's dead. Definitely dead.
How are you so sure?
There's a hole. A hole in his head. There's no way he'd survive something like this.
Can you specify where you are?
Yes. I see a big container for a waste like him.
Sir, no human is a waste. Can you please check and see if he's still breathing?
Even if he was, there's no point in saving him.
Of course there is. Each life is valuable.
How exactly do you measure the value of a man?
I don't believe I have the right to judge anyone's worth, sir, but life itself is priceless.
Priceless? Man, this is a myth! I gave everything for that business! I'm just a sore loser!
A loser?
I'm a worthless loser! How could I fall for this fraud?
Uh-oh.
Sir, I can only imagine what you're going through, but we're going to do everything we can to help.
No, you can't possibly imagine what it's like to lose this kind of wealth.
Whatever kind of money that was, it surely wasn't worth as much as your life, sir.
This was my life.
You're experienced. You can start over. You're so much bigger than the money that you make. And you'll only win from now on.
Am I? Jeez, man! I've never heard such bullshit!
Everything is going to be all right, sir.
It's not! I'm fucking lost! Jeez, I'm miserable! I need help!
Okay, so there we go. I think we've successfully... Come on, what are you... Oh, because it's paused. I think we've successfully done this one. Because if you select the wrong choices there, yeah, you can imagine what happens. Let's see, we've got a bicycle theft and a bicycle theft. Okay, so this one is incident requires an urgent response. So we're gonna try to catch this guy, go over here to take notes and such. So yeah, there's quite a few very different calls in the game. I think they're planning around 60 different calls. I would like more because they are, I think, like in 911 Operator, the highlight of the game. They're very interesting. Most of the time, the acting is pretty darn good. At least compared to 911 Operator, I think the acting of the various callers is even better now. It sometimes was a bit hit or miss in 911 Operator, I felt. But over here, most of them that I heard were pretty nice. And of course, you know, no comment about Ian, the dispatcher. He's just brilliant. I really enjoy that. So come on, you guys gonna catch that guy or not? He's right there. We've got a gunshot wound. Ouch. They're bleeding heavily and refuse to describe the attacker. Okay, so I guess it's a family member, but we need to send a police over there. It's only showing us that, you know, we need an ambulance there, but I'm actually gonna send a police unit over there because it is a gunshot wound. So, just like before, the game is a lot of fun. What's going on there? Drinking in public. Oh, life sentence. The game is a lot of fun. It's pretty much the same strategic thing as before. No, they didn't need police. That's a bit odd. You place down your units. You buy more units after you complete a level, which we will here. And of course, you gain reputation for solving cases successfully, and you lose reputation for not responding to them or for doing them wrong. Acute poisoning. I could send this guy, but...
112, what's your emergency?
We're stuck in an elevator. Help!
Okay, I've heard
What's
this
the address,
one.
ma'am?
It's 49 Second Avenue.
Okay, there it is. Let's send in firefighters.
Is there an emergency button in the elevator?
It's not working.
How many people are there?
4. There's 4 of us.
Okay. How many elevators?
Okay, what floor are you on?
I'm not on any floor. I'm stuck in an elevator. Just help us.
I've never tried this one. Oh, around what floor?
I understand, ma'am. I meant around what floor. It's important.
Oh, okay. It's moving up and down between the 8th and 10th floor all the time. But the doors won't open.
Okay.
How many elevators are in the building?
There's 2 of them? I think we're in the first one.
Okay, ma'am. I'm sending the firefighters to help you. Please, stay calm.
Just hurry. I can't take it anymore. Bye.
They'll come as soon as possible. Goodbye.
So we're going to save that one. And I have it paused. So yeah, like I said, just like before, the strategic part of the game right now in alpha is pretty much the same. Actually, I would go so far as to say that this is pretty much the same game right now if you play the alpha as was the 911 Operator. Apart from the little differences where you can see what's going on when you click on a... wait, why am I sending the police? Oh no, they're going to... yeah, there we go, police station. Apart from the map, which you can zoom in to get a 3D view, and you can click on this to see what's actually going on here. Oh, there's injured people, so we need an ambulance there. And in fact, we need 2 ambulances because there's 4 injured people, it appears. Yeah. So that's pretty good. Before... No, I think you did get that as well. You just didn't get this animated. It gets pretty interesting when you can actually see the police fighting criminals with weapons. You actually get the little bullets flying about and such. It gets pretty interesting. Wait. Oh, they just had to... Okay, never mind. They were only slightly injured. There's a drug overdose here. So yeah, it might be a little bit unfair of me to say that this is pretty much the same as before, because there are quite a few differences, but if you're just picking up, like, 911 Operator, playing it and enjoying it, and then picking up this, for me, it felt pretty much the same, until I started realizing, you know, oh, look, you have water, and you can zoom in to have a 3D view, which I didn't really try, because, like I said, right now it only really feels a bit like a gimmick, instead of something you would use a lot, but they do have some disasters and such planned in the game, which I think could benefit from this. So, for example, apparently fires are now going to spread. So if a fire starts, I don't know, over at this building, and you don't send a firefighter in quickly, it might spread to this building and so on, and you know, just engulf more and more buildings. So in that case, maybe the 3D map will come in handy, so you know where to send your units to cut the fire off. But I'm not sure how they're going to do that. There's also going to be various other new things like terrorist attacks and so on, which should be pretty interesting, but I still fail to see how they're going to make the 3D map usable. We'll see.
112, what's your emergency?
Help! Oh my god!
Where are you?
I don't know.
Oh.
Please look around. Are there any buildings? Maybe there's an address plate on one of them or something like that.
Let me... Yeah, there is one. It's...
What happened?
A car crash. This guy... Oh my god, please!
Do you have any injuries?
Just a couple of bruises. I'm okay.
Sir, how many people are involved?
The driver and the passenger of the other car. Christ.
So, 2 of them, right?
Yes. 2. I don't know if the guy... Oh my god.
Are the victims breathing?
I don't know.
Please check if they're breathing, sir.
Okay, I think she's breathing. The guy? I don't know. Should I get them out of the car?
Are any of the cars on fire?
No, nothing's burning.
In that case, there's no need to get the breathing woman out of the car. If the man doesn't breathe, though, you should get him out and start CPR.
I'm starting to think... I don't know if I can.
Sir, were you driving under the influence? Sir, you can save the man's life. Will you be able to live knowing that you didn't help, even though you could?
You're right. I should help. Just tell me what to do. I don't think the man is breathing.
Do you know CPR?
Yeah, I sort of do. I just don't know if I won't hurt him in this state.
You should do it. It's better to try than just let them die. The ambulance will be there soon.
Okay. Just come fast.
Alright, well, they're already on site. Why is the ambulance not going there? Oh, there it is. Because I am on slow motion. And of course, I send all 3 units over there. A firefighter for the technical job of the cars, the ambulance for the injured people, and of course the police for the drunk driver. So they're going to arrest him. There we go. We've also got a wrong way driver here. That unit is too far away, so they're going to arrest this, or just ticket this wrong way driver, and then I'm going to send them to the drug dealer. Oh, possibly armed. So, excuse me. I'm going to send... Are these guys down here? Yes, they are. Okay, I'm going to send them to over here as backup. Now let's check this out. If they actually start firing, nope, they're just gonna arrest him, and that's it. Let's send the ambulance over here. Just like before in 911 operator, I do have to say sometimes it's a little bit difficult to click on units when they're right on top of each other. So you either have to really zoom in a lot, which is now easier because in 911 operator you couldn't zoom into this level, you know. Or you can click on here and then find your unit, but it's sometimes a little bit more difficult. There you go. It does actually center on the units. So there you go. So yeah, just like before, it's a lot of fun doing this. The calls are a lot of fun as they are. You need to go to a station to offload that guy. And I'm really looking forward to... Wait, there's still a... Why didn't they pick up the other guy? What? What happened? No idea. Why didn't they pick him up? Drinking in public. Because they picked one person up, but they didn't pick up the other person. Yeah, so sometimes there's a bit of a bug. But again, this is the alpha version. Look, it says gameplay does not represent final quality, so... There you go. Let's offload this guy and then send the van over there. Obviously, right now when we're going to finish this mission, or this part, I'm going to show you there's the various units, and there's actually quite a lot more than before in 911 operator. You get dog units, like K9 units, you get horses, you get bicycles, sports cars for, you know, as pursuit police cars and so on and so forth. It's pretty interesting. No helicopters that I saw so far, but I'm pretty sure you can get them. Of course, they're going to be horrendously expensive. And just like before, the better you do, the more money you get to spend. And of course, this is also new. You now get a current weather and weather prediction. And apparently that's going to affect based on the time of day, what kind of traffic there is, traffic jams that can slow your vehicles down, crime rates. Cities are also going to have different parts like centers, slums, suburbs, and so on, which will, you know, tell you usually what kind of a crime or a crime rate there will be in that area. So forget everything I said before about not having any large incidents. There is one large incident in the game so far, even though this is just an alpha version. You've got large area fires. So unlike before, let me just send everyone there. Unlike before, where you simply send a fire truck to the icon, you now have a choice. Because if you zoom in, you can see that this is actually indicated where the fire is. It's not just the icon and the fire is there. This will spread. So for the purposes of just showing you how this fire works, I'm going to ignore all the other incidents. So these large fires are pretty dangerous because they will spread. You can also see that because this is happening in a forest area, the vehicles will go off-road to the fire. There we go, it's spreading now. And they will be taking care of the fire. You also have to note the direction and speed of the air. I mean the wind. And it is spreading that way because of the east-southeast. Whoa, that's spreading fast. That's spreading really fast. Let me get the technical truck over here as well because, yeah, this is not going to go very well. I'm going to send it over here. So these guys are now extinguishing the fire. They will be moving around as they do. There's a bee sting. Okay. They will be moving around trying to take care of the fire. And of course, sooner or later, they will run out of water. Now, these large fires, I found, take a real toll on your units. It's very dangerous, it's very difficult. So now I'm sending police to these new events here, which is fire evacuation. The police will go around, knock on doors and such, and try to get people to evacuate because of these fires. And this fire is just getting out of control here. It's insane. I'm also getting... Yeah, these guys are also taking out the fire. Come on, guys. Get it. Now, this is pretty interesting because it takes on a new mechanic. Oh yeah, this guy needs more water. It's a new mechanic here that we haven't seen before. You have to actually look at where the wind goes. You can try to cut it off. Of course, there's no roads here, so I cannot really get these guys to go over here off-road like they do if you just click on the icon. My complaint about this right in the moment is that... it's a bit clunky. Now these guys will move on their own, trying to extinguish the fires, but sometimes they seem to get stuck. Because I try to get them to go and refill the water, and they just sort of go like left, right, up, down. They cannot seem to find their way out of this non-road area. But yeah, these are pretty interesting, as you can see. There we go. Now he's going to try to go back. Actually, I should tell this guy to refill water. There we go. See, I clicked on refill water, and now he's sort of confused about what to do. Anyway, let's
112, what's your emergency?
Hello. I'd like to report a baby...
Okay, let's end this car. We don't care. I'm just showing you the fire. So this is getting completely out of control. A part of this is also because I haven't been able to buy any more units. And also this is interesting because it takes the weather into account. It's 32 degrees, which means that the city... Oh, there's a cat in a tree. Water curtain. There we go. Municipal authorities requested water curtain to be set up to allow inhabitants to cool down during the heat wave. Large technical job. So this is pretty cool. This will add an additional strain on your fire units. Are these guys seriously going all the way down to this fire station instead of this one to refill water? Shame on you. Also, what happened to fire hydrants? I have no idea. So as you can see, it gets... Oh, there's another large fire. It gets very, very problematic, this, if you don't respond immediately. Fortunately, sometimes they do have rainfall later on in the evening to help you with that, but it's, yeah, it's very interesting. It takes a strain on all of your units pretty much, especially police and firefighters. So I just wanted to show you that. It's pretty interesting. Right now it can be a little bit annoying because you just never have enough fire trucks for this, and sometimes they don't seem to... See, this guy is out of water. Just go refill. See, he's going back and forth now. Just go here. I know you cannot go through the fire. Anyway, this is just an alpha version, so they're most likely going to make this a lot better in the final release. But right now, yeah, see, that's annoying. And I'm wondering what the other stuff will be, and if this 3D view will actually be useful for that as well. So there we go, we finished with that. And just like before, in 911 Operator, you get a nice little overview of what you did, and you can also click on things to get a rundown of what happened and what you did, and whether what you did was wrong. So the patient was given first aid, the operator ordered squad 4 to go to diabetic shock. So some of, you know, most of these are pretty straightforward, but some of these, which have more points, are pretty interesting because... oh, this is the suicide guy. So we solved that one. There's a bicycle theft, which was actually, you know, the bicycle owner and the thief. So I do like that it's not just one event, so the bicycle thief, but you actually have to go to the bicycle owner as well, because he reported it. We didn't get any negative stuff over here, because we solved everything as it should have been. So there we go. Preventable death 0, hospitalized 0. Oh, 0. Build 6, in jail 0, efficiency 98%. Base income. Alright, so let's go. So I'm adding this little clip after the fact. I'm also going to add another clip after the fact, after I recorded everything, because I figured out that you only get to add new squads after a certain amount of duty. And you also, like you see here, I had another district added. So, when we add a new squad, you can add whatever you want, of course. You can filter what you have at the moment, or you can just show everything. But for the new squad, you first select what kind of a vehicle or, well, transport you want. And there's quite a few options. And this is also not all of the options. There's more coming. In fact, I'll add that as well. So you've got patrol cars, and you've got the speeds, you've got how many crew it takes, and how many people you can arrest. And for the medical stuff, you've got the speed, how many crew, and how many people you can transport in the ambulance. And of course, for the fire trucks, it also gives you the amount of water that they can have. So obviously the technical truck and the aerial ladder truck only have a little bit of water, while the fire truck has quite a bit more water. And then you have the police pursuit car, which is very expensive, but has 250 speed, which is brilliant. I mean, compared to a police motorcycle, which I feel like should be also pretty darn fast. But I guess they had to balance it out for the game because the motorcycle is much less expensive than, I suppose, a Lamborghini or something. I guess we live in Dubai here. And yeah, this is just 20,000 compared to the 180,000. But of course, you know, I think the police motorcycle is a much better thing here because it costs so much less for not that much less speed. I mean, yeah, this is quite faster, but, you know, neither of them can actually arrest people because they don't have any space. Anyway, let me show you the rest of the stuff as well. So I'm going to advance another duty here. Okay, so this is after another duty. I'm just skipping them, so I'm not really getting a lot of money. If I were to play this properly, I would probably have around 188,000 euros-ish, something like that. But apart from all of this, I think the really cool thing is like the horse and, you know, the bicycle. I don't see a lot of reason to buy a bicycle over like a police motorcycle because it's just so slow. But I'm assuming the bicycle and the horse will most likely not have any problems with traffic jams. The horse might even ignore certain things like forests and such completely, as does the bicycle, but I haven't tried that out. Anyway, if we scroll down, we've got the really expensive stuff. The air ambulance, the police helicopter, the heli-tac, which also has water, so this is pretty useful. Unfortunately, it does cost a pretty penny. And there's the water tender, which I couldn't really get to work in my game. It does work like a normal fire truck, so they will also extinguish fires, and they have a lot of water, as you can see, 4 times as much as a normal fire truck. But from what I understand, this should really be able to refill your other fire trucks, and I was never able to do that. It's probably just because this is still an alpha version, which is also why you don't get to save. Anyway. So there's the missions that you also get. This is in progress. Complete your second duty. Carry out your duties. It says 100% progress, but I don't think it actually goes past that in the alpha version. You also get emails. Careful. Have you heard about the use of firearms has radically increased lately? I suggest being extra careful. We're glad to inform you that you are qualified for the next and last recruitment phase, 3 days trial period. During this time, you will learn the basics of working at our center. And there's also weather. There you go. This has no effect in the alpha version right now. And there's districts which, well, they're not available just yet. There's the efficiency, duties, reputation, total cases resolved. So, you know, the UI is quite a lot nicer than before. Again, on one hand, while playing this game, I couldn't shake off the feeling that this is pretty much the same game as 911 Operator, just more polished and nicer. But on the other hand, I realized that, you know, this is just the alpha version, and they do have quite a lot of things. You can check them out on the Kickstarter page about what they want to do with this. So, considering that 911 Operator was a lot of fun, I do trust them to make this into a much more complex and fun experience. So, yeah, we'll see. And I'm really wondering what they'll do with this whole 3D map thing. Anyway, if I was to, let me see, if I start this, okay, it just keeps going, so let me pause this. But if I was to complete this part, I would get 2 more districts, for example, this one and this one. So, and of course, I would also get many more units, and in fact, it got a little bit out of hand because I just didn't have enough police units and crime kept popping up. So, I'm guessing they're going for a little bit more realism this time, where you just cannot sometimes keep up with every call, and you just get swamped. I know that's quite a problem, and at least in the UK, that's quite a bit of a problem, I believe, in a lot of cities, that they just don't have enough units available for all of the calls that they get. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. The links are down below in the description. I hope you've enjoyed this little alpha preview of 112 Operator, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.